right now. Brought to you by Ford and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. It is Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Well, we are doing fantastic, and we're doing fantastic for the game. But obviously, also, I have to ask, how did all of this Ring of Honor stuff with Jimmy finally come together?
Well, I think it's been in the works for quite some time. Don't think I know. And, they just felt like this was going to be the right timing. They had people were at different visits they had out in L.A. and just felt good about it. And you can see they both seem thrilled about the situation. And, I think it's great, not only great for Jimmy, a great honor for Jimmy. I think it's great for our fans. Certainly, I know a lot of players on that team are thrilled to have him join him, whether you're talking about a Troy or a Emmett or a Michael and so on, D-Ware, et cetera. I think it's just it was the right time, and it's great that it's going to happen here at the end of the season.
I've always been kind of curious, what's your relationship with Jimmy Johnson like?
Oh, I've always had a great relationship with him. He and I work good together, obviously. I've been fortunate enough, since I got in the business when I was about 25 years old to really work with some great coaches, obviously Jimmy being one of them, but Coach Switzer and Coach Parcells, I won't name them all, but Jimmy, of course, was right up there in terms of teaching me a lot about the game, teaching me a lot about, players and, leading and all the things that are instrumental in building a championship football team. But we've always had a great relationship. I've always enjoyed him as Jerry does as well. But it was a great run we had with him, and it was great working with him.
So when you, Jimmy, and Jerry are sitting together yesterday in the suite, are y'all talking actively about the game in front of you, or are you mixing it in with a lot of y'all's stories from the good old days?
Both. I mean, we were actually, different situations in the game. We would recollect about being in similar type situations, how he would go about making calls or making decisions, and how he would work with his coaching staff and the players. But always great to share information up there and where we got some of our players and where they came from. And, he's obviously a student of the game, and knows all about now the salary cap, although we didn't have one, when Jimmy was here. We were cutting and shooting for the most part, and guys couldn't leave. And then we had a little taste of Plan B, but he certainly understands the cap, know how important it is to find, for instance, a player like Bland, or to find a player like Bell in college free agency, in terms of complementing your salary cap when you've got obviously great players, but also players that count a lot toward your cap. When you got players like Dak Prescott, certainly C.D. Lamb coming our way, but Tyron Smith and Zach Martin had a lot of great visits there about how those guys are and how they compare to some of our past guys, and just really great to spend the first half of that game with him.
When it comes to him as a coach, what was his best quality? Do you think it was? And you can rank them for me real quick, because you were there. You saw the man, the way that he worked. Was it identifying talent was his best attribute, or leading coaching part?
Jimmy obviously had been around the college game quite some time, and I think he contributed a lot in terms of knowing all the college players that were coming out. He had recruited. Had a lot of them that played for him, but also recruited a lot of them and played against them. So that part was good. But I'd say his greatest quality was just, he was a psychology major, and just the way he led the football team, the way he would, not only the team, but his coaching staff, and how he would get their psyche in the right place to go out and win week in and week out, and ultimately, get it into the end zone, and ultimately win 2 Super Bowls. So, just a great run. He's a special coach. He's obviously not only going to be in our Ring of Honor, but he's a Yellow Jacket Hall of Famer as well, he and Jerry both. So, like I said, I've been fortunate between Coach Parcells and Jimmy, 2 Hall of Fame coaches. certainly all the things Barry Switzer accomplished. Really unique to be around guys like that. Larry Lacewell, who's no longer with us, but very close to all those guys. So, I've been very blessed, very fortunate to be around some really top people that know the game of football.
The timing with the opponent y'all were playing yesterday I thought was really fascinating because did you see Bryce Young and the struggle of the Panthers? Does it give you any flashbacks to '89 or put in better focus how tough it is when you kind of have to start all over with your new franchise quarterback, or you hope franchise quarterback?
Well, they're going to build a great team, and I'm sure they're going to do it do it in quick order. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Coach Reich. Serve on the competition committee with him. Certainly, you do go through growing pains. With a rookie quarterback, it's very rare that a rookie quarterback steps in and has instant success. And they've had their share of injuries. I know they're missing one of their top 10 picks from our Micah Parsons draft, a guy we liked a lot, J.C. Horn. But I'm sure ultimately that thing's going to come together for them, and they're going to have success. I know David Tepper's a great owner, and Charlotte's a great area. People love football there, and I know the Panthers are going to play good football. They certainly gave us, they made us earn every bit of it in terms of when we had the ball driving the football. We didn't have the normal big chunk plays we had. Obviously, the Bland play was a huge play to really put us in a great situation there to win the football game, and I kind of put that game away. But, we certainly had to earn every part of that yesterday.
Stephen, let's talk about DaRon Bland. He might be having arguably the greatest cornerback season in Dallas Cowboys history, and that's saying a lot because there's
even 2 years ago.
There's Hall of Famers, obviously Deion Sanders and others that are in the Hall of Fame because of how well they played that position. But DaRon Bland is arguably the best cornerback in the NFL this year.
Well, he's certainly playing as well as anybody as far as we're concerned. I mean, he's, I think, tied the NFL record for most pick sixes. A lot of people forget last year he led all rookies in interceptions. And so, it's one of the things that we're stressing, when we do draft corners are their ball skills. We've had a lot of great corners that are very sticky in coverage and play the position well, but haven't had the ball skills guys like Diggs and Bland have. I mean, guys like a Newman and a Byron Jones are, top corners, but they were not necessarily interceptors of the ball. And certainly we've got two now. Diggs, unfortunately, not being able to play for us right now, but I think Bland showing everybody why we liked him and, just making plays on the ball, which we all can see how it ultimately can win football games for you. That pick six, as I said, I think that was what we needed to really put that game away yesterday. And, he continues to make plays like that for us.
Well, speaking of Trayvon Diggs, we're going to have an autographed icy white Cowboys helmet of his on Wednesday when we do our annual charity show. I know y'all are huge into charity. Do you have any charity event tips for us as we get ready for Wednesday?
Good question.
Well, I know this. Anytime you're doing something philanthropically or charitably, it's just, it's great. Usually it's always an amazing cause that we're all going to work for. There's so many great causes out there, so many people that are need help, whether it's medically, whether it's financially, whether it's honoring people who put themselves in harm's way. I know we're very much behind the Medal of Honor, certainly the Salvation Army organization we support in a big way that, helps people who are, aren't fortunate and don't have the resources a lot of us have and don't have homes to go home to. So, it's just the big thing is it certainly, have a big heart when you go to them, and it certainly makes you feel good. I think we get more out of it than the people who actually receive the benefit of some of the philanthropic and charitable donations that come to these different organizations that help people.
And Tony Pollard had the big 20-yard run for the touchdown, Stephen. And Friday, Jerry was talking to us and saying, look, that burst is there. It's there. Do you think we were a little impatient with his recovery from everything, as he still had to work his way into it, and maybe there's more on the horizon in front of him here?
Yeah, I mean, and some of it's just the way people are playing us. I think, one of the things Mike and Dak and company have done on the offensive side of the ball, obviously we've loosened it up the past month or so, throwing the ball around. And I think as we continue to do that and people see what we can do moving the football, throwing it, that, they're going to want to get out there and figure out how to limit a CD Lamb or how to limit a Cooks or a Ferguson. And as that happens, I think it'll only get better. I think people knew coming in, we were vocal about it. We were out front about it, that we wanted to run the football. And I think people, their number one thing when they play the Cowboys is they want to stop the run. I think as they start to see the success that Dak and CD are having and our passing game's having, that our running game should just get better. And I think Tony Pollard, yeah, sure, anytime you're coming off a major injury, it can take, you're going to build up as you go and only get better. But, I must say this, I've seen that burst all year, and it's just a matter of, as we all see in that game yesterday, he was so close 4 or 5 times where a guy just gets him by the ankle. Otherwise, that play is going to be, an explosive play, a 20-plus yard play. So it's going to continue to come his way. We've got the right guys out there that they're going to have to pay attention to, and ultimately Tony Pollard's going to get his too.
Appreciate the time as always, good sir, and obviously best of luck going into Thanksgiving and another game against Washington. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.